Thanks for staying with us. You're welcome back to the morning show here on Arise News. Earlier this week, the Independent National Electoral Commission found itself in the eye of another storm when a political interest group accused it of manipulating the electoral register to boost the chances of the political party in power in next year's general election. Well, to have a conversation around that and the polity in general, we are now being joined by Professor Utomi, a professor of political economy and management expert, and Emmanuel Mock, a good governance advocate. Good morning, Prof, and good morning, Mr. Mock.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
Good to have you join us.
Yeah.
Let's start this way. I mean, and this question will be for the two of you. Are you worried that INEC might not be up to it? I'm asking because of what the CUPP, said, elaborately last week in terms of the issues around voter registration and the number of people that were discovered to either be fake or, the allegations are there. But then we also know that INEC has responded, as a matter of fact, Professor Yakub Mahmood, yesterday with the Nigerian Guild of Editors, did speak eloquently about the fact that not only will next year's elections be free and fair and credible, but that for the first time, it will be verifiable. What are your thoughts? Are you satisfied with with the defense that INEC has put forward, or you're worried that it looks like the process might be hijacked?
It's not a matter of being satisfied or not being satisfied. It's a matter of us all working together to ensure that that happens. If you look away, something can happen. You blink, something can go wrong. So it's calling on all citizens, INEC, everybody, to keep their eyes on the ball. Look, we've had a tradition of political parties and politics as based on who can most outplay the other in the unsavory. And so we should not take it for granted that they are scheming all kinds of things. So vigilance, is the only thing that can save us all. INEC needs to be extraordinarily vigilant. The citizens need to be vigilant. They need to scream anytime they suspect anything is going wrong. And everybody can be kept within those boundaries that will enable us have that free, that fair election that we would like to see.
All right. I mean, let's take a look at what has just happened. Of course, INEC has come out to respond to this, but faulting the CUPP for disseminating its findings prior to confirming or clarifying with the Commission itself. The clarification we have from INEC is that they are still, in fact, cleaning up the system. What do we make of this clarification? And also, is the CUPP wrong in any way to have disseminated its findings before clarifying with INEC?
I do not think the CUPP is wrong at all. There are too many reasons why we should be wary of what INEC is doing. I, for one, have engaged INEC on several fronts. I had several meetings. We've written formally to INEC. There are several things that are wrong. I have had several people reach out to me that they've not been able to collect their voter cards. We've reached out to INEC about it. INEC says the voter cards are at the different registration centers or local governments. But people have made so much effort and they are tired of going there to collect it and they've not seen their cards. Now, INEC, take the last time, or with this matter of voter registration going on, so many people have not been able to register. In fact, I led a citizens organized effort to help people get registered. Had meetings with INEC at their office. And INEC said, in Lagos here, their senior staff said, I met the rec, that every effort is being made so that people get registered. The thing there is this. You say you are giving out machines to register, but how many machines are you giving out? At the places where people are supposed to register, you have lines of maybe 300 people and you have 4 machines, which makes it impossible for the people to register. I can tell you of so much effort made by us to help get this done. All INEC will tell you, we are doing the best we can. But it's clear you're not doing the best you can, yet you say you are doing the best you can. And so when INEC comes and says 2023 general elections are going to be free, credible, and verifiable, it's just like what INEC has always said. They say it's done, but nothing is done. I'm not talking now from supposition, I'm talking factually. engaging them, engaging the system, trying to see that people get registered, people collect. In fact, we reached out to some lawyers said that we might have to collate people together, people who have registered so long, their names and all of this, and engage INEC to say, where are the cards of these people? Because you say the cards are there for them to collect. You say every day that people don't want to collect their cards. People go to collect, they don't see their cards. These are facts. So when INEC come and says, especially with what CUPP just published, these are very damning. And I'm telling, as far as I'm concerned, INEC itself should not be the one trying to exonerate itself. Because these are things that are clearly damning on INEC. One of the things the CUPP...
What INEC is doing is to give out a clarification. Good. And to say that until they are done sorting and cleaning the system.
If somebody is accused of having committed a crime, that person's defense is just his defense. An independent person should check what that person has done. The CUPP press conference brought out a fundamental fact. The Beavers machines by which names can be uploaded,
yes,
have codes.
Yes.
For those names to have been uploaded as accused of INEC, those codes were given out. Now, for it to happen, there has to be official meddlesomeness in what's going on. And so for the same person that's been accused of having been a part of this, to be the one trying to come out and say, no, nothing happened, it's very suspect to me, especially considering the demographics of the country and things happening in all the different areas of
Would it be right to say that part of the reasons why you are bringing this out now will be because maybe you have a leaning, as Prof does, towards a certain political party who is more interested in new voters and new registrations?
Why would you ask such a question? Why would you ask such a question?
No,
you should not ask such a question. You should not ask such a question. Elections are coming.
Yes.
In fact, it's a legal fundamental right for citizens to register to vote.
Absolutely.
So there is absolutely no reason for it. There is absolutely no reason for such a question. INEC is supposed to register all eligible voters.
But that's what they're doing.
No, that's not.
I'm not making a case for INEC.
No. You shouldn't ask such a question. Really,
why not?
Because it suggests that it suggests as if there is ulterior motive in trying to see that citizens register and vote. If you check for me, especially for me, I was a former national secretary of IPAC.
Yeah.
Okay, I was a former national chairman. I was involved with INEC years upon at least for 3-4 years. Prof here is aware. Mm-hmm. And we engaged INEC on the process of registering people, doing things properly. Even at this particular time, we engaged INEC that there are too many people who have come of age to register. Even in my own house.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Some of them could not register because while they waited and waited in line, days upon days, they still could not get registered. And these are people that have passed the age of registration. We said to INEC, we said to the REC, at least at the meeting we had, the best way to do this is 2 months, across every polling unit, as was done in 2019, especially, where people registered at their polling units in front of their houses, even if it's just 1 month, 30 days, that people are allowed to register at their polling units.
Why is it
that
possible
way,
for people to register the day they turn 18? Just standard. It's done everywhere in the world.
That's what
Why do we have to have this window for doing?
We all agree that that's what
a continuing process.
Yeah, but then you also have to factor what INEC has explained to say that we give a period for people to come and register, and that people only rushed out in the last 1 week.
Why shouldn't we not have a system
it's not
where
right.
you can register any day you wake up and want to? That's how it's done all over the world. This is administrative incompetence. That is what it is, simple. And if they admit that, then we can start working from the point of view that they're incompetent, and we can see who can help them get more competent.
Right. I think it's quite evident that there's some loopholes here, and that's why we're having some issues here. Yeah. And of course, Mr. Mac, you did mention that you don't get to exonerate yourself. Let somebody else do that. Let's talk about the status quo around that. Who is policing INEC? And what more do we need to do to get to the points where we're not having recurring issues?
And this is where civil society is important. Everywhere in the world, civil society groups hold the feet of institutions to the fire and ensure that they do what's right for the common good. And so we should have civil society organizations that are constantly on the neck of INEC and saying to them, you've not done this yet. they should be able to, in fact, develop a basic, checklist that citizens can all have. And we can say on this checklist, on this day, INEC has not done this, why? And there's a big public outcry and there's pressure to do this or that. And that's the way society really evolves. But we don't seem to have, civil society is doing remarkably well compared to how things have been in the past, but we still need strong civil society to be able to get our institutions to run right.
But Prof, will it be wrong for interested parties and political parties who feel aggrieved, who feel that their members have been disenfranchised,
not wrong at all.
to state their position, which is what I was trying to ask Mr. Mogg, to say that, if you have a position and you feel that your people are aligned towards a political party, and that there's a generality of some of their members that have not been registered, make that case clearly.
I responded the way I did because, sincerely, it's actually partisan to suggest that it's because you are from a particular area that you're advocating that INEC should do the right thing and register everybody. And it creates a wrong impression in the public's eye about this matter. Now, on the 31st of July, when INEC ended voter registration, Punch newspaper did a very good, not just Punch, even Daily Trust and Vanguard did very good reportage of investigations. In fact, they said at one particular polling unit, I think polling point in Abuja, the people almost slept at the point, hoping that they must get captured because INEC was going to close the next day. When they were closing, the people were almost fighting with INEC. The same thing. You need to check Punch of 31st or 1st. You would see that across the whole country, now this is a fundamental flaw. When I engaged the REC, it said that there's not enough money to employ people to register people at the polling unit. If it's money, tell us how many staff do you need? As at today, the official figure of polling units that INEC has put out is 170,000. So basically, if you want to get 170,000 ad hoc workers for a month, say at 30,000 or so, for just that 1 month, so that they go to every polling unit and register people across the country. But that's not just the problem we have. INEC, how are you going to print and distribute cards? How are you going to print and distribute cards? So you see, officially for me, I don't see INEC being able to deliver credible elections 2023. There are no signs to it. Because just for registration, take INEC ended online voter registration. INEC ended online voter registration 30th of May. Then they now ended the other one 31st of July. Good. Why did you end online voter registration 30th of May? 31st of July, when INEC ended everything, INEC itself said that there are about 10 million people who had started online voter registration, but who had not been able to capture. Because you can do online everything, but you must now come before an INEC beavers machine with an INEC staff to capture your biometrics officially. Do you understand? So they've done everything else. And their process that INEC set up was, when you've done everything online, it was to help INEC register more people. When you've done everything else, they will now give you online, you will get an alert that will tell you where you can go to now do capture and give you a date for that. So you give people, they come to that point, at that date on that time, you find maybe 30 or 40 people waiting. It's impossible for you to do it. Even to get another appointment is a problem. And then you close. Even if you are going to close, shouldn't you at least, those people who had begun, who officially had engaged you, that you already recognize, even when you close, you need to at least not have allowed those people to continue and finish their registration. You ended even for those people.
Steve,
sorry, Prof, just a second, because we need to actually make an announcement to our people. At this point, we remind our viewers that in the next few minutes, exactly at 9:20 a.m., we will launch into a special tribute documentary on Queen Elizabeth II. She reigned but did not rule. It was produced by BBC in collaboration with Buckingham Palace. We select some channels, including Arise News and SABC from Africa, choosing to air it. Do stay tuned. And back to our guest. Sorry, Prof. I know that you were making a point.
Yeah, I was going to say that Nigerians around the world, and I've met with many of them in the last couple of weeks, are so angry with INEC. They are actually threatening to take out lawsuits in the International Criminal Court that INEC is trying to disenfranchise the Nigerian people. And
You think there are millions of people who have not been allowed to register?
I think so. But
INEC said it.
Yes, I think so. I don't think so. I know so.
Fact.
Right.
Okay. Now, the real problem I have with that is that we have a history of a political class that prefers people not to participate in elections. That is what the problem is. And we need to rebuild that democracy.
The same INEC, Prof, says at 74 million registered in Nigeria. That's a lot more than the entire West Africa of 70 million. They're dealing with issues that we're all aware of. My point, therefore, as we struggle with time, is what do you think they can do now because they have stated their case?
I have been of the opinion that they should extend voter registration. They should
If
find
they do, will
easier
people
ways.
be able to collect their cards?
Yes, it's possible. Look, logistics, managing logistics. Okay.
Yeah.
Mr. Mark wants to say something about
Yes,
that.
I want to just throw a question in so that you can manage time. We have just a few seconds. While you're going to respond to that, let's also talk about voter education. We are aware that INEC just delisted about 1.1 million fresh, registrants over, ineligible status,
Double
invalid
registrations
records,
and so,
duplicity. What is that an indictment on INEC over voter education process?
Let me. You see, remember the first question was, what do you think? Can INEC deliver credible elections? The process is important in delivering credible elections. INEC published, I saw just now from the BBC News reporting of the breakdown state by state of those invalidated voter registration. If you look inside, you see Bayelsa, 67% of new registration are invalid. How is it possible? 67%. Think about it. How is it possible? What is involved in registration? What's involved? Think about it. How can 67% be invalid? Now, keep that aside. In the elections we've seen, at least 2019, we saw children voting. Has INEC talked of the cleaning out of the names of children that have registered and voted? From what CUPP said, INEC has not said anything. INEC came and said we are cleaning the register. Now, this is the same INEC that is obviously, some of the staff must be complicit to have achieved what was done. So if we're talking of voter education, people like us, the political parties have educated the population enough. And that is why you see the mass people coming out to get registered. Do you understand? Also, the life Nigerians are living, the suffering Nigerians are going through is making them interested in getting a government that will be better for them.
Right. But who owns that responsibility for voter?
It's a shared responsibility.
Mainly
parties.
political parties.
Mr. Mark, we will have to go because we are at this point launching into a special documentary on Queen Elizabeth. She reigned but did not rule. We have to go into that now.